So what's on the embroidery machine today? Only time will tell.
Good morning, everybody. It's Stephen here for Bland Designs and the Idiot Quilter, and welcome to my weekly vlog for Monday, December the 13th, 2021. It's vlog number 244, and it's day 644 of COVID. So let's get right into what I've been working on. Haven't created a lot of interesting things this week, but I did do a couple. Now, I thought I was done with Christmas things, but turns out I'm not. There's always more to make. So I'm just going to switch my screen over here to show you my latest. And these are little pouches, zippered pouches that I made for Walter's and mine great nieces. And so as you can see, they unzip and you can keep little items in it, and I thought those might be very nice for little girls. And I also put their first initial of their first name on each pouch, so you know the girls each get their own personalized Christmas pouch. And what I did was I filled each one up with multicolored candy canes. Looks really cute, I think. So that's one thing that I've been making this week, and those were pretty easy to do. It's all done in the hoop, and yeah, I really think they'll get a kick out of those. The other thing that I've been making, and let me just go to that one, is this. This is a gnome table runner. It's Christmassy in its colors and in its theme, although someone mentioned to me that, you know, you could use this any time of the year in a sense because gnomes aren't just for Christmas. And besides the color of possibly the gnomes' hats and the binding, yeah, true. It doesn't just mean Christmas. It could be a winter thing. I think it could be any time of year. This was a kit that I bought from a place out in BC. I think it was called Cottage Treasures. And it was kind of fun to do. It was very quick. So what I have now is what I would call an emergency Christmas gift in case, somewhere down the road here in the next couple of weeks, we get invited to something. That's probably not going to happen. Then I have this that I could, wrap up quickly and give to somebody. But, yep, it's another thing that I was working on. So let me switch back here to me. Okay, so that's all that I've been working on this past week. And this week, I guess I'm going to have to start planning some projects for next year. And I do have a couple of more UFOs that I need to really quilt. So I might throw one of those this week on Lucy and get that done as well. So that takes us to YouTube channel of the week. It's called BV3D Bryan Vines. And this is for those of you that are into 3D printing or are thinking of getting a 3D printer. And some of you might be getting 3D printers for Christmas. And I find this channel very informative. So I'm going to show you my review about that right now. This week's YouTube video of the week is one that is called BV3D Bryan Vines. And this is for you 3D printer people out there. And for those of you that might be thinking about getting into 3D printing. This is a review site where he talks about all things 3D printing. He reviews a lot of the machines and compares them to each other. He also talks about accessories and add-ons for your 3D printer, and he gives you tips and tricks as to how to get the most out of your 3D printer. If we go to his playlist, we'll see what he has here. He has things about 3D printer upgrades, different specific playlists for specific printers like the Prusa. He has 3D printing safety as well, because after all, you are using something that involves electricity and heat. You might want to know about that. He has an Ender 3 series, which is really good because those are the printers that I own, and I've learned a lot from his videos with that. And lots of other things that are related to 3D printing, as I've already said. Now, the other thing about Bryan Vines' YouTube channel that I find very useful is that he is very clear. It's very well organized. His explanations are to the point, And he seems to give very honest reviews about various things. I really do trust this man's opinions. He seems to be very, very knowledgeable. So if you're getting into the 3D printing world, or if you're already there, check out BV3D Bryan Vines. So you will find a link to that series of videos in the show notes below. There's also a link for Stephen and Walter Live. We talked extensively about our experience going out on Saturday. First time we've been out in almost 2 years to something that is social. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that later on as well during today's vlog. There's a link to the Idiot Quilter episode 144, Orphans and Pillows, as I call it. And I'm just going to show you a couple of other projects that I made this past little while as well. They're both Christmas items. And the Idiot Quilter presents Musings. Called that one the Embroidery Rabbit Hole. And again, here's something that maybe some of you might be receiving as Christmas presents this year, an embroidery machine. And I talk about basically my experience with my embroidery machine and embroidery files and the whole bit. And I love to machine embroider, as you know. So that's in the Idiot Quilter Musings. And on So Chatty, Walter and I discussed sewing in 3D, which I take a look at. We take a look at all the different things that if you have a 3D printer, you can create for your sewing room or your quilting experience. Okay, so that takes me to what's pissing me off this week. And this is sort of related to quilting as well and sewing. So I ordered a new ruler from Amazon. Now, I already had this ruler actually, but they've done an upgrade to the ruler, and my other one was broken. Now, this is a stripology ruler, and a stripology ruler is essentially a ruler that allows you to cut strips of fabric, long strips of fabric, accurately in various widths. And it's one of my go-to rulers, but it's very thin because it has slots that are all, placed in at different measurements. And those slots, and because this is a plastic, makes the whole thing, because it's so big, a bit wobbly. And you got to be careful when you pick it up that, you don't get too much weight or too much warp in it, because it can crack along one of those slots to the outside frame. And that's exactly what happened to my original one. But I was able to repair it with packing tape, and it's been working fine ever since. Well, I discovered they have an upgraded version of it, but it's still that thin plastic. So I ordered it on Amazon, and it came. And the first thing that got me worried was there the package was sitting on my doorstep, and one end of it was damaged, the box. And I thought, ooh, this is not good. Hope the ruler isn't damaged. So I got it inside, unpacked it, and the ruler was damaged. It had one of those breaks in it that I just told you about that are so easy to do. Now, yes, I could fix it. But the point is, I just spent $129 on this ruler, and it came damaged. It wasn't because I had done it. It was because Amazon delivery, or possibly even the shipping in the factory or the warehouse, had done it. So I thought, well, I'm not going to let this go, even though I can mend it. So I went on to Amazon. Now, a little known trick about Amazon is there is a chat mode. You have to hunt for it. And I prefer to use that because I've used it before with Amazon. Long story short, because I did a very detailed discussion of this on Stephen and Walter Live, is that eventually, and you had to be persistent, and you had to know how to talk to these people, I got a full refund and I got to keep the ruler. That was not originally how our negotiations started out, but by the time I was done, it got me that. I was very proud of myself because the squeaky wheel does get the oil. All right. I wasn't belligerent. I wasn't angry with them. I was very calm, very collected, very proud of myself for being that way as well, because as you may or may not know, I'm not always that calm and collected. Usually gets me into trouble. So I got an Amazon gift card from them online for $129.99, which I just spent because I just bought a whole bunch of filament for my 3D printer. So anyways, as I said, if you want to hear the more detailed account of that, check out Stephen and Walter Live. But this is what I'm pissed off at. Many companies say they have this policy where you can return items if you're not satisfied, or, they have a mechanism in place where they will make things right for you. And most of the time you get lip service. You get somebody on the phone line that's reading from a script and they can't do too little for you. And that's very frustrating. You usually have to wait a long time online if you're doing it by phone. That's why I use chat. And you usually get somebody who won't budge on anything or gives you a very difficult time about getting a refund or whatever. And I don't know why companies are like that. I really don't. Now, sure, there are people out there that'll try to scam them, and I'm sure they have experienced that many times. People will say something came broken and they want a full refund and all that kind of thing. Now, really big companies will oftentimes, I have found, if you say that something is broken and you explain what the problem is reasonably, they will very often give you back your money and not ask for the broken product to be returned. Because let's face it, returning a broken product to them, well, first of all, I won't unless they send me all the information and make it easy for me to send it back at no cost to me. Okay, so there's one thing that pisses me off about companies. Say, yeah, sure, we'll give you a refund as soon as you send the other product back. Then they leave it at that. And then, of course, that product never seems to reach them and it's cost you money for it. No, I don't deal with that. I don't do that. And I have to say, a lot of companies that I have dealt with on those occasions when that has happened, when I've had something broken, pretty much take you at your word. Those are the large companies, all right? Well, even the smaller ones will do that too, because you know why? That's good customer relations. Because if I don't get a hassle, I'm going to say good things about that company when I talk about them. And I'm going to be a repeat customer. And I've said this in the past before. It's all about customer relations. If those people, when you have a problem, treat you well, treat you fairly, are very reasonable, then you will be a repeat customer. And they know that. The smart companies know that. And Amazon is one of those companies. Anytime I've had a complaint about anything, and it doesn't happen very often, they have pretty much fixed the problem for me to and beyond my satisfaction with them. So yeah, say what you will about Amazon, all right? But really, when it comes to online buying experience, I think they've got that market cornered. And that's obvious because people are repeat customers, aren't they? I mean, yes, you can bitch about the fact that they're taking away business from small businesses, but yeah, so's Walmart. So's any of the big box stores. They're taking business away from the small mom and pop stores too. It is the nature of the beast. And I feel sorry for those little stores, and I try to support my local mom and pop shops as best I can. But let's face it, at the end of the day, you want something and you want it fast and you want it at a reasonable price. And if the big online stores or box stores can give that to you, then yeah, who are you going to buy from? I mean, I know people who will not shop at Walmart because they're an American company, because they treat their employees badly, blah, 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 blah. I get that. And, I try to limit my shopping at Walmart as well. But if Walmart's got something that I want and it's a price that I want to pay, then I'm going to go to Walmart. I'm sorry. That's just supply and demand. That's just economics. Okay? So I don't know how I got onto that because that's really not my point here. My point is there are a lot of companies though out there who, once you've made the sale, there is no after sale service. If you've got a problem, you're screwed. For example, there are many manufacturers of products that have in their little manual their warranty saying if you need to return a product, and they put in bold type, do not return to the store. And they'll give you an address of some place that's way out in Timbuktu, somewhere, to return something for repair. Now, I'm not sure why those companies do that. I mean, I didn't buy it directly from that company. I bought it from a local store, like Bed Bath and Beyond or Walmart or something like that. Why are they putting that in their warranty? Have they worked out some kind of deal with these stores? And the deal is the stores say, okay, once it's off our shelf, not our problem. So that's all to do with customer service again. So that always makes me a little bit wary when I buy things. Of course, you don't know that until you get the product home, right? And open it up and read the fine print. So, yeah, and some companies are just plain belligerent. And as I said, if they're not going to stand behind what they sell, then I'm not going to buy from them again. I'll find someplace else to buy the products that I want. Now, having said that, and talking about the big box stores, another big box store that really stands behind everything they sell is Costco. Costco's return policy is ridiculous on the side of the consumer. You can go in there and take back anything. You don't necessarily have to have the receipt. You don't have to have the original packaging. Yeah, that's something else that bothers me about if you have to return something too. With some companies, it says you have to return it in the original packaging. Okay, how many of us really hang on to the original packaging on everything that we buy? First of all, where are you going to store it? And, 2 years down the road, when this thing does bust or whatever, do you think you can find the original packaging? I think not. So that is another little loophole. Oh, if you don't return it to us in original packaging, we can't do anything for you. See, they build in all of these little clauses that work in their favor, not in your favor. But back to Costco. I actually took back a TV set that we'd had, a small TV set that just stopped working, one day. Just stopped. We checked it all out, made sure it was plugged in, all that kind of stuff. Could not get it to turn on. We no longer had the original packaging. We didn't even have the original bill of sale. We couldn't find it. But we thought we'd take a chance, take it back to Costco. Costco gave us a full refund, or at that point in time, we had a choice that we could just get another one, or they gave us a full refund, and the refund was in cash. So we could have walked out the store with our money, or what we did do was we bought a new one and applied that money to a new one. But I've returned things to Costco before. I have seen people return kids' snowsuits that have obviously been worn and are worse for the wear, and it's after the winter season, they're returning it in the spring, and they get a full refund. Yeah. Now, Costco knows what these people are doing. They're playing the system, and yeah, really, they're taking the company for a ride. But Costco's a big enough store, they're big enough business that they can absorb that loss. And they at least gain, for the most part, a repeat customer from it. So yeah, good marketing, but good customer relations. But other stores, no, you don't get that. They look at you, that's too bad. You can walk into some stores and all they'll give you is a credit. You bought something, say clothing. You bought a kid a sweater, a jacket or something for Christmas. Christmas Day, they put it on, don't fit. Okay, that happens. So you take it back and they say, yeah, I'm sorry. That was on the Christmas sale table, or that was on sale that day. All sales are final. I hate that line. All sales are final. Why? Why are all sales final? That says to me you don't stand behind the stuff you sell when you see that line. But you take back this thing and say, it doesn't fit. I got the wrong size. Well, they may not give you a refund, but some of them will give you a store credit. Well, okay. I don't have a real problem with that in most cases because usually this is a store that I shop in on a regular basis. So sure, I'll use the credit towards something else, or I'll go and see if I can find the next size up or whatever and purchase that. That's okay. But that all sales are final, and I don't care if it's on the clearance table. I don't care if it's been marked down because it's discontinued or something like that. You're selling it. So why should you say all sales are final with that? So that, again, leaves a bad taste in my mouth, and it means that I don't want to deal with that store. So what's pissing me off? Attitude that these stores have. And I choose to not deal with online stores or brick and mortar stores that have policies like those that I have just mentioned to you. I will be a repeat customer to somebody who treats me well. And in turn, I'm going to treat them well too. I'm going to tell people about how well they treated me when I had to return an item. I'm going to tell people that, you can shop with them worry-free because if something goes wrong, they will make it right. And that's what I said at the beginning of this little rant about Amazon. So say what you will about Amazon or about some of the big box stores, but my experience with them has been good, and so I will continue to shop at them. Okay, moving on. 3D Corner. So I also made another Christmas gift for my great nieces, and I'm just going to switch over here so I can show you a picture of those. And these were fun. I did them on the 3D printer, and I've actually made these before. There they are. And you have seen them before, but in a smaller version. Now, I know the picture doesn't really show the size of these very well, but I originally made a whole bunch of these as Christmas gifts, but as pin cushions. I blew them up this time to about 4 times their size or so, and they are now pencil cups, or, whatever you want to put in them. And I thought they'd be really cute, and the girls would really like them. Actually, I liked them so much that the gold one, I made 2 in rainbow for the girls, and the one in gold I've kept myself, and it's sitting in my sewing area holding some of my frequently reached for sewing tools and notions. Works really well for that. So I thought those were really cute. So I filled them with some colored pencils and markers as well. And so that's going into their gift bag along with those Santa pouches. I think I threw in a couple of puzzle books too in there. So yeah, I just thought they were a lot of fun. And 3D printing, I've done a lot of 3D printing for Christmas items, both gifts and decor, and it's fun. But I got to stop doing that and move on. But having said that, I made this. This is like a fidget block or something, but I thought this was really cool, the way it printed out. And you can see you can manipulate it in different ways. It's just one of those fun little things, and that are all very popular, these fidget toys or whatever. So this printed out on the 3D printer in one piece, so print in place, meaning that I didn't have to snap any of these hinges together or glue anything down. It came right off the bed of the printer, just like this. So I showed it to Walter, and Walter says, hey, you should make a couple of those and throw them in the girls' gift bag. Okay, so after telling you how well this printed, I printed another one yesterday in rainbow colors, and took it off the bed, but I took it off the bed too soon. The bed hadn't cooled down completely, and so when I was prying this off the bed, it basically tore apart. I wrecked it. I broke the hinge on it once, so that was scrapped. So overnight, I let it print another one, and I took it off just a few minutes ago before I started making this video, and yeah, I broke it too. So I'm debating, is it worth making another one or not? Now, the one thing, this one's working really well. So I think I will try again, but I think I know what my problem is. I think I have too much glue built up on my bed of my printer, so getting them off has been very difficult with the last two, and that's why I destroyed them. So I'm going to clean that up and try another one and just see what happens out of that. So yeah, my goal is to make a couple more of these and throw them in the girls' Christmas bag. I guess I'm not done making Christmas presents, am I? I'm actually trying to figure out something that I can make that's practical, that I can make, multiples of to give to people or things like that. Because, I love making these things, but do I need a whole lot of them? No. So I like to give things away. So I'm still searching for that. I mean, I've done the pincushion thing, but not everybody wants a pincushion, right? And I've got about 50 of those. So I was just today, I think I'll scour Thingiverse or something and see if I can come up with something that, people might like. And I can make and give away to them at certain times. Cell phone holders, I don't know. I've got my Mickey Mouse cell phone holder, which I showed you last week. That's fun. But I don't know. We'll see. I just have to see. And I'd like to find something too that I can print, multiples off in a few hours, not in a few days. Whatever. And I'm also thinking too, I should maybe work outside of my comfort zone and make something that has multiple pieces that have to be like some assembly required, but something bigger. I'm a little afraid to do that because, those kind of things usually take hours and hours or days to print. And then you get to the point where you're about to finish it up and something goes terribly wrong. And that's kind of scary. But we'll see. I'll have to check it out. And it's a toy. It's fun. And if you get one for Christmas, enjoy. Just remember, steep learning curve. Okay, so that's all about 3D printing today that I have. And so that takes me now to, I was going to do a product review about that Stripology ruler, but I already talked about it and what happened with it, so I don't need to do that. And yeah, so that takes me to another blast from the past. This is in my continuing series from our trip in 2019, just before COVID broke out and everything like that, to Australia. And I'm hearing people are liking this. So here's another one. Now this one is in Brisbane, and it was a brewery tour that we went on. So check that out.
Okay, so today we're out and just wandering wherever. We're going to check out a brewery tour. That's not too far from the hotel, I guess, if Walter figures out which way we're supposed to go. Which is recommended by a couple of you when you heard about the fact that we weren't getting to Darwin and that we're coming back to Brisbane, and that we kind of felt we had done most of Brisbane when we were here first time. But we are discovering as we walk along, we have not been in this particular part yet. So we're just taking it easy for the next few days, getting over the drama of Jetstar and all that kind of stuff. And we'll just see what we see, and that's fine. Makes things a little bit more relaxing. And here's an interesting looking fountain we've come across on our way to the brewery. Okay, down there is where the brewery is, we think, because it looks like it's got 4 X's on these big tanks, as you can see in the distance. So that's where we're headed for. So this is another shot of the brewery. We're up closer now. So we have to get over there to get inside. So we're just waiting for the tour here, and Walter's trying on hats. And it looks like they have like a bar area here. I guess there's a beer tasting as well at the end of the tour. And I came in my sandals, but you can't have anything with open toes, so they gave me these cute little nylons to wear with my Peter Pan getaway shoes. Isn't that the coming? Which I don't mind the look. Rather good, cheap, the flimsy. No.
People would tap in and steal our beers. The first batch of summer with Bryan we ever did, we actually made it all the way through our 200 quality assurance test, all the way up to the taste test, before anyone realised that something along the way had gone critically wrong because we had a couple of 100,000 litres of borderline undrinkable beer on our hands. So you can imagine that as a huge financial loss, which we didn't want to just cop on the chin. Luckily in that situation there was actually a very simple remedy. All we had to do was slap a VB label on the side and sell it to the public. Record is actually 4, so you're going down to about here, but there is a catch, because every time you miss and you hit this, it's going to foam up more and more, which means it doesn't really affect you, but I'm going to get increasingly wet with every... yeah. Alright, give it a go. That's 4. There you go.
He's done it before.
I'll give you a beer. There you go. That was a good one. Are you a carpenter or something? Alright, jump back around this way for me.
Well, it did develop, that one did develop into a hurricane,
Oh, did it?
but it's way off Darwin.
No. Well, anyways, we're here. We're having lunch at the 4X Brewery, which we just finished the tour of. I'm sorry I couldn't take any more pictures or video of the tour because we were told that we couldn't really take. It was limited how much we could take. So you got what I could. And Walter's now showing me on here. So anyways, you notice the weather here in Brisbane. What's different from this than in Cairns? Oh yeah, no rain. So anyways, we did that tour. We just had a big plate of nachos and we're having some of their beer. Finished most of it. And the tour was okay. We've been on brewery tours before, so it wasn't anything special, but it was still kind of nice to do. And it's part of Brisbane we hadn't seen before. So I don't know, from here we're about 3 kilometers away from the planetarium.
Oh, you want to do it today?
I don't know if we'll do it today or what. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. But anyways, yeah, we're just doing whatever as it comes to our mind. We're not in any rush for anything because after all, we're here until Thursday. So, and here's the view from where we're sitting. It's kind of nice because, you know, we're off the beaten track in Brisbane. It's sort of a semi-industrial area, but it's a little bar area here in the brewery's not bad. And so we've decided, since we do not have any actual plans, that we're getting another pitcher of beer. We may be stumbling back to the hotel, but whatever. Okay, so we're in a little different part of the city. That's our hotel right here in the middle, the tallest building. And we're trying to figure out how to get over there.
So that takes me to events in the past week. Well, there was only one event, but it was different because we went out. On Saturday night, we went out. We went out to our local club, gay club, for a drag show. Now, a drag show is where guys dress up as women and lip sync to songs. They don't impress me much. I'm not really a fan of drag shows. So why did I go? Well, the guy that does the sewing classes that Walter takes, he was doing it as a fundraiser. He was going in drag, performing in drag, and it was a fundraiser to raise money for the food bank that this club, our local club, runs. So we want to support him. We also know that we had to prove that we were double vaxxed, put out our QR code for them, do the contact list, wear masks. Although once you were in the club, you really didn't have to wear a mask. Tables were spread out. The club had a limited capacity as to how many people they could have in for this. So I was still very nervous about doing this. You know, it's Christmas time. Do I really need to test positive for COVID? Because somebody, for some reason, got in on this thing and were asymptomatic or whatever. I don't know. That made me very nervous. Also, we haven't been out in quite a long time. So, I really have become a hermit and homebound during this COVID period. So I was nervous about that. But we went because, well, Walter kind of knew that if he had brought it up and said, do you want to do this, that I probably would have had some reservations about it. So he just sort of went ahead and bought tickets for it and then revealed that we had these. So I thought, yeah, you got to live, I guess. So off we went. So when we got there, yeah, I was impressed by their efficiency and things like that. I mean, we had not been to the club in probably 6 years or more. And back then, they weren't so organized with things. And that was pre-COVID. So, and it's kind of dark and it was kind of dingy. Well, new surprise. They fixed it up inside. It looked very decent. They'd come into the modern age. They had tablets and things for doing all of their bar totals and everything like that. So I was suitably impressed. What didn't impress me was the crowd, because drag shows seem to attract a lot of straight women. And there were a lot of straight women at this club. Now, okay, I'm gay. And, one of the characteristics of being gay is that we're not terribly fond of women. At least not in the way straight men might be. Okay? I mean, that's not to say we don't like women or anything per se, just because they're women. But, you have gay clubs so you can go and be gay. Like that. A safe environment. But anyways, here in our country, we're pretty much protected by human rights and everything. And, Canadians are pretty good for the most part about gay life and that kind of thing. It's just, yeah, okay, so fine. So, yeah. But these particular women were there to support one of the performers. And they were staff from one of the nursing homes in our area. Well, I was happy that they came to support a fellow colleague. But they were yahoos, absolute yahoos. And this is why the evening was not really a lot of fun for me. So the drag show happened. They're enjoying it. They're hooting and hollering and applauding. And that happens at those kind of things. That's fine. But then there was an intermission between sets in the show. And of course, the DJ there was playing very loud. I'm getting old. The music was loud. And like my watch has a little decibel thing on it that goes off all the time. And it's coming up with a warning every 2 minutes about this decibel level. You may make permanent hearing loss. That made me feel good. But anyways, these ladies decided they were going to get up and they were going to dance. Now, there was a problem with that. Yes, it is a club. Yes, it was dance music playing. They did have an area, but it was meant for the performers, and it was very small. It's not the size they used to have anyways for a dance floor. And it was clearly explained that there is no dancing because our government has said if you are a place that allows dancing, then the capacity of the number of people you can allow in that venue is less than if you are just classified as a bar with no dancing. And because this was a fundraiser, for one thing, they had declared there would be no dancing. That way they could put in a few more people for the show. But these ladies decided that they were going to ignore those rules, and they got up and they were all dancing away. And so one of the staff, and the staff that run the club, that were there serving people, are volunteers. They do not get paid. And I felt really bad for this one gentleman. He came up and he spoke to one of the ringleaders in the group, and I could hear what he was saying. He was basically explaining to her very politely, very nicely, I'm sorry, we can't have any dancing, and this is why. It was very logical. It was very rational the way he explained it. She kept looking beyond him. She wasn't talking to him. It was like the hand, talk to the hand, the face is not responding. And they were all just kept right on dancing. And he was getting very frustrated. And you could see that what he wanted to do at that point was take out a very heavy stick and bang them all over the head. But he kept his calm, he kept his cool, and he walked away, and they continued to dance. Well, as they were continuing to dance, other people, yahoos, got up and decided they were going to do the same thing. Some were wearing their masks, some were not wearing their masks. And they were tripping the light fantastic very close to the table that Walter and I were sitting at. I put my mask on at that point, you know. Yes, everybody was supposed to be double vax that were in there. They were all checked for that. But you just don't know. We had the new variants and the whole bit. I was not enjoying this. And they were just, I mean, it was more than less their attitude. Here are the rules. You are blatantly, after they've been explained to you the whole bit, you are blatantly disregarding them. And I'm thinking, you are healthcare workers. And they came from one of the nursing homes in our area that has had the worst outbreaks during COVID, where the elderly people in that nursing home have died from it. And that disease has been brought in by the staff, some of them. So what I'm saying is, if this is how you behave in your personal life, then I am sure that's how you behave in your professional life. You have no sense of responsibility. And you are there. You are taking care of the most vulnerable citizens of our society. It disgusted me. It really did. And when we left, after the show was over and we got out of there, and believe me, I could not get out of there too soon. I said to Walter, I'm not doing that again. I don't care what kind of fundraiser it is, and I don't care who we're trying to support or whatever. I am not putting myself in that situation again. And now I'm a little bit uptight that later I'm going to get a call saying, yeah, you may have been exposed to COVID. You need to get a test. That doesn't impress me much with all of that. And the other thing that worries me is a carryover, because Christmas Day, we're supposed to be going over to my sister's. Now, I'm a little apprehensive about this, but it would be really nice to have this year's Christmas at least, and I know other people feel this way too. You know, last Christmas was bad. This Christmas doesn't look any better. Well, we have a little bit of hope with the vaccinations. My family are all double vaxxed, but still, I don't want to find out before we're supposed to go over there that, yeah, I may have been exposed and I have to get a test. And if I get a test, then I have to wait for the results from that, showing that I'm negative. If it comes back positive, even though it may mean that I have COVID, I might have it at a very, lesser degree, like not hospitalization, but I still need to quarantine for 10 to 14 days, right? I'm not going over to my sister's with the chance that I could spread it. So, yeah, thank you, yahoos. Yeah, you can say that part of the problem is your problem because you went. Yes, it is. It is. And I won't do that again. But come on, we have to look after each other, or we're never going to get out of this, are we? No. So, yeah. So what else is coming up? Well, still on COVID here. Today, Monday, we apparently 50 plus and over in age, can now qualify for the booster shot. So we have to go online and book our appointment to get that. So we're going to do that today, and hopefully we'll see how badly the government has screwed that up as well, because they do. Yes, I've said many times before, we've had no leadership anywhere in the world for this disease. Every person for themselves, I guess. So anyways, that's something to look forward to. I'm hoping that I can get the booster shot before Christmas Day. I mean, it's going to take about 2 weeks for the booster shot to kick in. So, we're less than 2 weeks now away from Christmas Day. But it just is another level of security, I feel. So, yeah, definitely going to get that booster shot. Okay, so that's about all that's coming up this week and the events in the past week. And, yeah, nothing else to tell you, I guess. So tomorrow, the Idiot Quilter episode will go up, and later in the week, we'll have So Chatty. And I do have the Idiot Quilter Presents. I have an interview this week. Great interview with a new subscriber to my channels. So I'm looking forward to getting that posted for you. That'll go up tomorrow. And so I hope you'll check that out. So you won't have to listen to me rant in the Idiot Quilter Presents, at least not this week. So anybody else out there that would like me to interview them, I promise I don't bite unless you want me to. Yeah, I'm very open. So just send me an email and say, yeah, interview me, and I will. Now, of course, this is for, well, actually, it's for anybody. I'll interview quilters, sewists, crafters, anybody, really, about it. So don't be shy. Get your 15 minutes of fame on my channel. Yeah. Well, anyways. Okay, enough. I'm rambling. So, have a really great week. I hope there isn't too much stress in your life given upcoming of Christmas and that kind of thing. I hope you're well into getting all your Christmas presents and everything organized so you can enjoy the day. So, we'll see you next week. Bye for now.